Hey, welcome to Lady Overlander Radio. Tonight we're speaking with Rachelle Croft of Expedition Overland. Stay tuned.
Grab your favorite drink, whether it's a coffee, cocktail, or tea, and get ready. It's Ladies' Night on Lady Overlander Radio. The Lady Overlander Radio podcast is sponsored by CB Adventure Supply, Midland Radio, Go Treads, Overland Spices, The Moore Expo, Wildland Coffee, Adventure Trail Outfitters, Lifesaver Water Filters, Sea Sucker Camp, and Sport Keg.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show tonight. Hey, Arla.
Hey.
Arla and I are together again. We've been together the last couple of weekends and this week a little.
Yeah. She missed me so much. She's piled over with me and we're
Yeah.
sharing space.
She has better internet than my Airbnb does, so that's why I'm over here.
And it's Women Wednesday.
It is Women Wednesday. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at all of us. So we, let's see, last weekend we camped in my yard at the cabin.
Yes.
Weekend before that, we were at Moore Expo.
Yes.
This weekend is the Professor Bass and Friends
First annual camp out
listener
or
camp.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
something like that. Anyway,
And
and then I leave for Colorado, and then you fly out for Expo West.
Yep.
And we'll be doing some fun stuff there. And then I don't remember what else we got after that. It's busy.
let's just get past that point.
Yeah,
right
we'll
now.
just get to that point.
It's all spinning.
So welcome to the show tonight, Rachelle. It's so great to talk to you, and we have a lot of great questions that we've kind of compiled for you. And again, everybody who's watching, please feel free to ask questions to Rachelle, and we will post them up on the screen, and she can address those questions. So before we get too deep into everything, I wanted you to give a moment. I know most people know who you are, but just give you a moment to just kind of introduce yourself a little bit.
Sure. So my name is Rachelle Croft. I am married to Clay Croft, and we began Expedition Overland in about 2010. We have since traveled a lot around the world. We have 3 sons, Cyrus, Ryder, and Eli, ages 17, 15, and 13. One fur baby, Piper, who's actually laying at my feet. She's my shadow. And I also have done a little all women's rallies on the side, starting in Morocco. I did 3 of those in Morocco, starting in 2012. And then also the Rebel Rally, which I won in 2019 with my navigator, Taylor Polly. And then second place in 2020. So that's the very short version.
So you'd say you're a pretty good driver, or did you do navigation and driving, or what did you do in the Rebel?
I definitely am the driver.
Yeah.
I can navigate if I have to, but it is not my forte by any means. Yeah.
Oh, we got some people watching here. We have Aaron Sharp. Hey, Aaron. Feral Joe.
Feral Joe. Oh my.
That's my husband. And this is Carla's husband.
Better be watching.
Yeah. And then we've got Nori and Gen Xers Overland. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. So one of the first things I want to get into with you is balancing, because you've got a lot going on, right? So you're balancing, you're traveling, you're balancing 3 sons, teenagers, no less. I feel your pain. I have 3 teenagers myself. And you guys are running a very successful business. So how do you manage to do all that?
Oh, man. Well,
do you drink heavily, or do you just
I was just going to say, do I start with coffee or wine? Because it takes a mix of the 2.
Yeah.
A lot of, coffee in the morning, wine at night. First of all, I don't think there is ever a good balance. I feel like these seasons, you have your busy times, you have your slow times. Sometimes you have those days where you're like, I'm crushing this mom thing, or I'm crushing this business thing. And then the next day you're like, I'm a failure. I want to quit. Why am I even doing this? Who cares? And same with kids, especially teenagers, because as you know, they get moody. And one day you're kind of the same, feeling on top of the world. And then the next you're like, my kid, okay, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
Just going to ship you away.
Yeah.
So
Go overland with dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I, especially in the early years when the boys were really little, like toddler and elementary school, I felt I had the mom guilt really bad with balance.
Yeah.
One, because I always wanted to be a working mom. I loved working on something. I loved being out of the house. And that was, at least here in that time when the boys were little, I was still kind of odd for feeling like that. Because a lot of women were like, why wouldn't you want to stay home? That's a privilege. And I was like, yeah, but it was when the boys were little. I'm really glad I had that time. But I've just always been the person that's itching to get out there and do things. I want to build something and travel and see the world. And I wanted my boys to see their mom pursuing her dreams. I didn't want to be the mom that was like, well, I used to do all this cool stuff and then I had you. So then I stopped.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's not fair to them. Why should that be their responsibility?
Well, that would make them feel like, you had to choose between them and your
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly.
So.
And it definitely takes extra work to figure out how to do all the things. It takes a lot of help. I say all the time, it takes a village. It really takes a village. We had great grandparents who helped us out in the early days when we were filming Alaska in 2013, my boys were with grandparents and split that time. Even when I did rallies in Morocco, grandparents were able to come and help, or some close friends that we had here. We had people help with meals. It was a team effort, and it always is. So I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. And when you can, hire a house cleaner.
Yeah, definitely. Whether you travel or not, yes.
That's my dream. Have somebody else clean my house.
We're going to show a little clip from part of the Nordic series where you and Clay have to say goodbye because you have to fly back and take care of the other two boys, I believe.
Yep.
So we'll just watch this real quick.
Yeah, good job. Okay. You get those boys at home.
I will. I love you.
Love you.
All right, Tito.
So good. It's a lot of fun.
That's fun. Thank you for everything.
Awesome. Thanks for taking care of us.
You're welcome. You are in your own destiny now.
Shelly's on her way. It's never fun to say goodbye. It's an interesting thing to travel and film and run a business and do hard things with your wife. It's incredibly challenging, but incredibly rewarding. And I mean, it's the life we've chosen. And it's tough to, I mean, I'll see her in 3 weeks, but it's more of the emotion of everything involved and what it takes to do what we do. And she's just such a huge part of it. So when she leaves, it leaves a pretty big hole. And frankly, she helps me do what I do so much that there's kind of a mental game shift that I have to go through when you change up when she's here, when she's not. So I pretty much have to do it right now, which I've done it 100 times. Kind of just go, all right, things are different now. And I have this switch I flip, and it becomes okay, game face, different game face. Right now, different.
Aww.
It still makes me cry when I watch it.
I know. We all cried. I'm telling you. My husband said that was a powerful moment.
Mm.
Gen Xers, all that scene was so touching. I did get teary-eyed in that part, and what he said is so beautiful. It really is. How did it make you feel when you saw that?
It was it was a really cool moment. It was neat. So a lot of times, I'm actually in our edit room right now. This is where kind of the last of the magic happens, and where Clay does all his narrations. And so I get to sit in here with him a lot when these episodes are being finalized. And I hadn't seen any of that part or anything. And so I was just doing the routine, like, all right, he's like, I want your opinion. What do you think? Watch this episode. I want to get your sign off. And I watched it and I was just like bawling. I was like, I didn't know you did that. Like,
No.
and it felt really good because it is a lot to go on these trips. And I'm the resident general manager, cat herder of these trips and the film crew. And, you're making sure everybody's good and fed and make sure your husband is good. And, at the end of the night, you go to bed and you have those conversations that nobody else gets to have.
Mhm.
And we're working through things like, well, how'd it go today? Or, hey, we need to adjust this, or, so it felt really good just to be validated in that, for one, and to have him acknowledged and just say that, because he'll even tell you, he's like, I'm so bad at like verbalizing that stuff. And so for him to verbalize that on the episode itself was really touching, and it meant a lot. It still means a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely, you think sometimes as a mother that you're doing all of this stuff and nobody's noticing, right? And,
Yes.
Not only do you parent your 3 teenage sons, you're also a full-time wife, you're also, full-time worker on all of these projects, and it becomes a lot. And then, you're balancing all this stuff, and sometimes you're like, is anybody even noticing that I'm doing all of this? Because I'm about to, burn myself out. So, it's nice to have that acknowledgement. It's nice to realize that you guys are a team, and he's your partner, and he notices when you're not there, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Yep.
big, and just
Huge.
the same as I'm sure you rely on him for things too, and definitely there's a big hole there when you're not there, and he's not
For
there.
sure.
So
For sure.
we have Gen Extra says, epic series, so much beauty reflected in the people, processes, travels, and the rigs. Yes, Toyota.
Thank you.
And Farrell said, from time to time, Misty and I travel separately, and it definitely changes things when we travel individually. It does.
Mhm.
And, you're used to doing everything as a team. And, when he goes one way and I go another, because I've got different things going on than he does. And, it's rough sometimes. It can be,
For sure.
definitely be a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we've got, oh, hey, Kara.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hope to see you at the Expos again this year. Wore your hat you sent me just the other day. You remain a
Aw.
huge inspiration to me.
Oh, thanks, Kara. It's good to see you. We'll see you at Expo West if you're going to be there.
She's
She's
not.
not.
Oh, then I won't
I
see you.
know.
I don't know why, but she's not.
I think she's going to Pacific Northwest. Am I wrong there, Kara, or right? I
Where
think
you going,
she's
Kara?
Pacific.
Yeah, we just saw her at More Expo, and she's going to be. No, I think she's doing some kind of ladies retreat thing during
Yeah.
Expo West time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Awesome.
what I think she said. So, yeah, all us Midwest girls are all,
Everywhere.
chatty and hang out.
I love it.
We all hung out
Love it.
last week. Yeah. It was a good time. So, how do you balance overlanding with kids?
Mhm.
And this is more for me out of my own curiosity, because I
Yeah.
do the same thing. So, I just want to know how you balance things. Because yours are enrolled in public school, correct? Or a private
are.
school or something.
Yep.
So how do you get them, to pull them out of class, and how do you balance
Mhm.
all that? Like tonight, you've got some baseball games to attend. How do you handle all that?
Oh, well, so I'm like, how do I handle that? I don't know.
Coffee and wine.
You should ask them. Half the time I'm like, what did you eat for dinner? And they're like, I had cereal. I'm like, cool. At least you're self-sufficient. Well done. All right.
Yeah,
I'll cook tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's one of the basic food groups.
They're fine. They're fine. That was the one thing I was like, I let go of a lot of those expectations I had on myself as a mom of, well, I have to always serve them this kind of meal. We have to sit down together as a family. We have to do this. And it was kind of, Clay and I learned this in marriage counseling at one time. Our counselor was like, yeah, everybody kind of comes into this. You have your rules for your family, and those rules can change. So as we get busier and things get crazy, it's okay to say, hey, if we have one family dinner together this week, we're winning, and that's great. And other times of the year, it can look different. But right now, with this season of life, this is a great thing that we can accomplish together. So my oldest 2 boys are in public school. My youngest is in kind of a private / homeschool. It's more of a self-led. He's on campus twice a week and then does everything from home the other days. So he actually just finished with his school year 2 days ago.
I bet he's excited.
So, oh yeah. Yeah. He thought he was just going to have a free ride. And we're like, oh no, now you work. So he's in the shop working every day now. Like, you don't get to sit around while everybody's working. You're working. But our travel is priority to us. That's why we do what we do. That's why we started XO, was because at the end of the day, we believe that travel, whatever that looks like for you, makes you a better human being. You learn,
you can get an education on the road.
And you can get an education. So that's our priority with our kids and in our life and in our schooling. So with Cyrus, he missed a whole month, over a month of school when he was with us on that trip through Scandinavia and then Iceland. And I basically wrote an email. He's a good kid. He gets good grades. His teachers know him pretty well. I emailed the principal and I said, look, so Cyrus is going to be gone from this date to this date. He will not be there. Sorry, I feel like that's loud. And I didn't really ask permission. I just told them what we were doing. And then I said, he's with the family business. He is working every day. He is learning these things and he's getting an education because he's traveling to all these countries. That's just how it is. And he has a great school. They were stoked and just ecstatic for the experience he would have. They were great about it. They just said, awesome. He's going to get a better education there than he will sitting in the seat here. We'll work with his teachers. He can email them one-on-one and see what the workload looks like when he gets back. So that's how we've always handled it. When the boys were little, I always got the letters from the school that, hey, your kid's missed more than 10 days. I was like, too bad. He gets good grades. He's fine. Deal with it.
Still getting educated.
So that stresses me out as a parent. We have that rule here too. Like they'll start sending you a letter and
oh yeah, I got a lot of
fines and stuff like that. And that,
oh man,
that is the thing for me.
I got a lot of those.
I need to let it go probably, but I'm like, oh god.
I'm like, he gets good grades. He's not a problem kid. I'll call you. I'll go in and explain. Like if I need to, he's not just skipping school for no reason. They're skipping school. They're missing because they're getting an education in other ways. So
it's pretty, pretty legit educational purpose. There.
And the great thing about video is like, if you want proof, I have it. So here you go. Yeah.
So Kara says, oh, she's going to be at an adventure her in Maris,
Texas.
Okay. Let's see. We struggle too between doing too much for the kids and developing their independence. Yes, we do, because mommy likes to take care of everything.
Same.
And I've been learning to let that go because it's hard.
Yes. I always am trying to work myself out of a job with my kids from day one.
Yeah.
So the sooner I can teach them to have a skill that then I don't have to do, that's great. That's one less thing I need to do. And I never wanted them to be the kid in college that didn't know how to cook, do their laundry, keep their room clean. I was like, you're not going to be that kid. You're going to be a functioning human adult that's contributing to society.
Absolutely.
But it's tough. It's hard. Clay's way better at it than I am.
Like, don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, they can do it.
Yeah. Well, he's basically, we homeschool our kids, and so we take them with us 99% of the time. Our older daughter is going to be with her grandparents this summer though, because she's getting some medical things taken care of and stuff. But the other two will be with us at all the places that we go.
That's so great. So great.
Old Man Old Truck says, my son's school used to count our travels as educational experience. It's
That's awesome.
Their adventures online. That's cool.
It's a great principle.
Oh, Tate from Overland Spices, one of our sponsors. Thanks for watching, Tate.
Okay.
What we got here?
We'll be at Expo also now.
Gen Xer says, your team has had so many amazing rigs. Do you have a favorite rig?
Ooh. My favorite rigs change because they come and go. I would say right now, although I haven't had a lot of drive time in it, well, my favorite on the Nordic, I was in the Tundra, and that thing was incredible. It drove amazing, had a ton of power. I spent 12 plus hours and driving that vehicle almost every day, especially on long days. And it was just fantastic. But I'm more of an SUV girl, so I gotta say the new Sequoia is probably taking
Right
that
there.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. They're nice and roomy too. So
Super roomy. Yeah.
yeah, I have a 4Runner and it's I mean it's roomy. It's not like her Jeep. Her Jeep is like
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Don't start the Toyota Jeep fight right now, ma'am.
no. I like her Jeep all right. Yeah. What else do you have here?
So I had a question. I wanted to know what your favorite adventure series has been so far and why.
So South America was and is probably still my favorite, because of it was just kind of where we were at in life. The team dynamics we had was just Clay and I had so much fun. And it was after we'd filmed like Alaska and Central America, so we felt like we had the systems down. It wasn't too hard of a learning curve in that way. It was a lot of our same team members we'd been with for years. So we were just all family, which is very easy. And then the locations in South America are still some of my favorite. Like Colombia, I can't wait to get back to Colombia and explore further. But the Nordic was pretty good too. So
yeah, that looks pretty awesome. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The next was Overland. It has to be the Gladiator.
Odin was pretty sweet. Odin was pretty awesome. Yeah. I called that point and shoot, because you take it on a trail and it's just like wherever you point that thing, it just goes.
Now
Yeah.
that was the one that
40-inch
Tanner
tires.
flew to get, right? Tanner flew to
Yes.
get and to get to the expo.
He did.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with the amount of wind, how loud those things are going down the highway. Like Clay and I drove it to Salt Lake once, and we legit wore our Bose headphones like the whole way.
Really?
Because
Oh
we're
my
used to Toyotas and Land Cruisers. We're like, why is this thing so loud?
Yeah.
But you
And
get
that's
on the
right.
trail and it was awesome.
Yeah. All right. We've got a question from Kara. What advice would you give a future Rebel participant? Prepare on a rig and to prepare on oneself.
Great question. So man, that's a big topic, so I'll try to keep it concise.
Go ahead.
You and your teammate know your roles and your expectations for how you want that rally to go. Are you both on the same page as far as, well, is one of you super competitive and does one of you not care? That will not end well. So have those conversations before you go and set your goal as a team for how you want to complete that event. And then I did this with Taylor, and we do this with a lot of our team that goes with us on the trips, is I sat down with Taylor in 2019. This was the first time we rallied together. And I said, how do you react under stress? How do you act when you get hungry? How can I help you when your morale is down? Just kind of those basic character core questions, because you'll hit all of those things. And you guys know this from travel in groups. You know when your blood sugar dips and who shuts down, or who maybe gets irritated easily, or who can have a good attitude. Yeah. So knowing that about your teammate, and then have a plan of how to respond to each other in those moments, will go a long way. So some teams have safe words. They're like cucumbers or whatever, like you're being a diva.
Yeah.
Here's a Snickers. Like, try to keep it light so you don't get defensive at each other, but it's front loading as many of those conversations beforehand is great. Because the Rebel is all about mental fortitude. Honestly, like the rig and everything. Yeah, the rig is important, but really how you two handle yourselves as a team and your mental capacity to perform for that long under that much tiredness and stress really is more important than what rig you drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then less is more when you're packing and preparing your rig. Less is always more.
Always.
So really streamline and hone down your packing. You're going to wear the same pants for like 12 days. You're going to wear the same shirts. You don't need 12, So just really be intentional with your packing and what you absolutely use and need. That's my quick blurb on that.
Katie Abraham said Pop-Tarts are safe word in my snack for when I was tired.
Yes.
Her and Lisa did it.
I love that.
Yeah, they're doing it again this year.
Kira's
That's
doing it
awesome. I
next
love
year.
that.
We're doing it next year.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's great.
Can't
I
wait.
love it.
Internationally, how do you find public land to camp? Here we use Gaia and other apps. How easy or difficult is that in other regions?
Awesome question. So we use iOverlander first and foremost a lot all over the world. We use that primarily in South America. It wasn't as populated as it is now. So that's a really good tool. In Europe, they had their own version of that. I think it was Park for Night, something like that. And then there was another one. So even different countries and regions might have their own version apps of places you can camp. And that was really helpful. If you're at a place that doesn't have that, then we do a lot of research before we go. We scour blogs and forums. And then when we're there on site, we talk to locals anytime we can, at every gas station, at every grocery store, anyone we see. And then that's usually where we find the gems. So we honestly never have 100% plan of where we're going. It's you get in the rhythm of not knowing and you're okay with that. So we have a lot of, especially South America, we spent some nights in the back parking lot of truck stops and gas stations that were safe, and some random gravel pits. And sometimes you get the good campsites and sometimes you just need a place to crash.
Sometimes you're on the side of the road in Oregon.
Exactly. Yep. It's not the end of the world.
Nope. Sure isn't.
Yep.
It's all about the journey and the adventure anyway, as far as I'm concerned. So.
And they make the best stories. You're like, remember that one truck stop we stayed at? And we watched that guy
a little sketchy. Yeah. Absolutely. Kara said I hit her sweet spot. Is she talking about Rebel, do you think?
Are you talking about snacks? Because that's
Snacks
what you have
or
to do, is
Rebel?
throw snacks at me.
Yeah, I just have to
gotcha.
throw snacks to Darla all day.
Snacks and Mountain Dew.
So going into this, I know she's not a morning person.
Not.
Okay. Good to
Not
know.
much of an afternoon person. Needs snacks.
Snacks.
Lots of snacks.
So take lots of snacks. Yep.
She likes sleep. She's
Yep.
not going to get a lot of
But I
that.
don't sleep very much. But I would like to have it someday.
We both snore like you would not believe.
True.
Cool.
So
yep.
we're
All
used to
good.
that.
Yep.
What else? I would be navigator. You'd be driver for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
This time.
And we already know we're not going to be speaking by the time it's over, so we've already gotten that out of it.
Ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll
Well,
be Betty White. She'll throw the Snickers. That's how it's going to roll.
Yeah.
there you go. So every night, just do your best to get to bed at 8:00.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how you
I
do
heard
that.
that you're so exhausted that you actually
are.
really will go to bed.
Yeah.
That's when we went to bed was 8. As long as you've driven well that day and haven't broken your car, so you don't have to stay up to fix it in the mechanic's tent.
Yeah.
Go to bed when you get there. Eat your dinner, go to bed. And it's really hard, and it's because you want to hang out with everybody and share stories. And there's definitely times for that. But we were very disciplined and we're going to bed. We love you all. We're going to bed.
Well, yeah, and like you said
sleep.
earlier, you have to decide if you're going to be very competitive with this or if you're just doing this for fun, for the experience. And you both need to be on the same page about that. And,
Yes.
I think that kind of affects the entirety of how the whole thing goes.
It really does. So when we did Morocco the very first time, I've never done anything like that in my life. My teammate had never done anything like that in her life. We'd never spent more than 3 days together. And we went into it by saying we want to finish and we want to have fun and we want to learn all we can. Those were our goals. We didn't want to be disqualified. We didn't want to break the truck. And that was it.
Yeah.
And we did all those things. We had a fantastic time. And we were lost
Simple rules.
constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were lost all the time. It was fun.
Those truck stop showers are awesome.
Yes,
They
they
are
are.
actually. The ones at the pilots are pretty nice. Yeah.
They're clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
$10 shower one.
Adventures of Salt and Sweet Tea say Buc-ee's. Have you heard of Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's. Are
No.
So they're like a like a Pilot or like a big gas station chain here in the Midwest.
Way bigger. Way
But they've
bigger.
got like everything. It's like a miniature Walmart or something.
It's like
crazy.
100 pumps outside, 100
Yeah.
gas pumps, literally lined up across it.
Wow.
Huge place, but they have everything. They get
Dang.
food wise and stuff. And it's amazing.
That's awesome.
And we've got Katie said, "What's your favorite piece of equipment right now? Anything from a vehicle to a toothbrush
Wipes.
to wipes."
We all love wipes.
Wipes. Yes.
Yes.
My Tinklebell is my favorite piece of equipment.
Right.
Nice.
It's so you can pee standing up or pee in a bottle, which I use all the time. If you graduate to like expert level, you can even kneel and pee in your rooftop tent.
Yes.
So
That's a slow-
into a bottle. Yeah.
Oh,
Or like in a bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those ones. Yeah.
I'm trying to
Learn that-
avoid peeing
yeah.
in my rooftop tent, but I see what you're saying.
I saw those on Amazon. I was curious
Yeah.
myself.
I have about 3, and they're all stashed in different areas of one
Yeah,
camp,
I'm not
like
coming
our
out of my
4-wheel
tent,
camper, our truck, my backpack, and they're just fabulous.
Yeah, I'm getting
Um,
too old to be squatting, so I need
yeah.
to get one of those.
Especially when you travel with guys.
Yeah.
So, because they all scatter all the time, they always do it.
Yep.
So yeah, you can stay standing up. You can just turn around and be like, "Okay, I'm here."
One
Don't
of the
have to,
guys-
like-
one of the
Yeah.
guys.
It freaks them out every time. I love it. It's great.
I love it. I love it.
Chewy.
Chewy.
Yes.
That's another one.
And then
Does
on
it
the
go,
V,
girl?
yep. I'd say on the vehicle side, Max Tracks are still one of my favorite pieces of equipment. I've used them since they were actually my very first rally sponsor in Morocco for 2012.
Nice.
But I use that piece of equipment more than a lot. And then we just got these new air down tire caps. It's from
Mhm.
Apex, I believe. He's out of Salt Lake. And those are amazing.
I think those were the ones that Tanner showed in
Yes,
that episode. Yeah,
they're
that's
fantastic. Yeah.
I like those.
Yep.
So what's on the horizon for 2023 and going into 2024?
Well, we have a lot of things happening because we can't seem to not be busy. Every year we're like, why do we do this to ourselves? We can't help it. So we'll be making a big announcement the week of Expo West. Can't tell you where we're going, but we are going somewhere and filming another series. Now
Just
that
shoot a lot of it once you announce it, it'll be fine.
yeah,
I bought those stickers at Expo West. Would you whisper it to me?
yes, I would. I will do anything for food, almost
She can
anything.
talk very easily.
I like her.
I like it.
Yes, so we'll be announcing that week, and I'm 85 to 90% sure Taylor and I may be doing the Rebelle again this year. I don't know what we're driving yet, but
Nice.
hopefully it works. That'll be great. Yeah, and then it's a lot. I'm sorry, I can't really say a lot, but it's.
Right. There's some things that are going to be happening.
There's
We'll
a
talk
lot of
about
things
it.
happening. Oh, I can tell you this. The trucks left Friday already to ship out, and they're already on their way to the next location.
Wherever that is.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's happening.
You can tell us what expos you're going to hit this year. I know you can share.
Yes. Yes. So we'll be at Expo West. The whole team, full force. Some of our trucks, not all of them, because we had to ship them early.
Yeah.
But we're doing an awesome new booth this year. We hired a new marketing content director, which is fantastic. He's just crushing it. And so he put together this really cool booth that I don't think anyone has ever done at Expo West. It's going to be completely new and different. And even when we called Anthony at Expo, we're like, can we do this? And he was like, why? What? Why? Why do you guys always have to do this?
Why are you pushing
Like-
the envelope?
So it's going to be really cool. You're going to want to stop by. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, we will, for sure.
And then we'll be somebody from our team, or possibly Clay and I will be at the new Outdoor Adventure X show in Salt Lake in June. But we can't go to the rest of the shows because we'll be filming places
Somewhere.
somewhere in the world.
Location not disclosed at this time. I Can't wait to see what that.
We're going to Snickerland.
She will bring you a box of Snickers because she's going to want to
I'll
know.
take it. All right, I'll take it.
I'm all about it.
I also love wine, white wine.
Ooh, okay. Oh, yes. Yes. Same.
Let's do that. So Cyrus, he's your oldest.
Yes.
He's ready to graduate. Do you think he'll continue being involved with X Overland after he graduates, or what kind of plans he might have?
That's a good question. We talk about this a lot because yes, I do think he will be involved in some way. We are not pressuring him to be involved if he does not want to, because he needs to decide what he wants to do and who he wants to be and where he wants to go. We are really encouraging him to travel after he graduates. We're like, don't go to college, travel.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what he wants to do yet. So we're like, don't go, just wait. Clay and I are also both college dropouts. So we're like, it's fine. Go figure yourself out.
Absolutely.
But he has said once after we did Nordic, he was definitely like, oh, I have the travel bug. Where else can I go in the world? And so he's starting to kind of make his own list. And then he told us he's really interested in the business side of what we do. So all of our kids are welcome to be in all of our business meetings as much as they want. They can come in and watch and learn our process. And they start from the ground up by detailing all the vehicles. That's always their job first. And they even, like Cyrus edits for us. He knows he edits a lot of our podcasts. He edited on the road for the Nordic series with the Van Stralen boys. So we're trying to teach these skills in them that they can try out the different aspects of the business and see maybe where they want to land.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what I like. What we do also is we find things that they're interested in. Like my son is insane about World War II.
Yes.
All of the vehicles and armaments and everything, and he can tell you anything you want to know. So, we encourage him to learn through that. And my youngest daughter is totally into baking right now. So she's taken all kinds of courses on baking and cake decorating and all that stuff. And
love it.
We kind of do, I guess, a little unschooling. We kind of let them lead the way in what they're learning. But the traveling, I feel like they've matured and they've learned a lot by being on the road and experiencing different things and meeting different people as well.
Yes.
So have you seen that with your boys? Have you seen them kind of, they're kind of naturally mature, but, kind of grow and blossom and see how other people live in other countries? It's a sobering thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I watched Cyrus. He was never really our confident kid. He always really struggled with just kind of self-confidence. He was a little more shy. And when he was 10, he and Clay got to go to Israel together with Clay's mom.
Nice.
And he even came back from that trip. I think he was in 4th grade. And he just carried himself a little higher and, just had this amazing experience. And then he went on the Alaska trip with Clay and then the Van Stralen boys. And I watched them come back from Alaska. And he was pretty nervous about going. He's like, well, I'm going to be gone a long time. And I'm with all these guys. Like, it's going to be hard. I'm like, yeah, it is going to be hard. That's the point. That's why you're going. You need to go get your butt kicked a little bit. And he came back a totally different kid. And then I watched him on the Nordic. And it was an interesting dynamic because I was his mom, but I was also trying to not mother him, as Clay would say. He's like, stop mothering him. Like, I'm trying, but it's hard. He's right there.
Don't make eye contact.
Yeah. So it was so cool to watch him just start to be his own man and grow into his own person. And as we traveled and saw different countries, he drove through most of Europe and Iceland and even the Faroes with the trailer. And I was behind him a lot on the radio, just like, Cyrus. Like, I couldn't help it. I'm like, move over. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
But he just crushed it. He is a very capable young man. And I would, if you can ever get your kids to travel anywhere, I don't care if they go on, like, whether it's a missions trip with their church group or a school trip, or you take them camping, and any time they can get out of country, you can't help but be more confident and learn. And it gives you more empathy for the world around you as well. And then you also realize we're all so similar. No matter where you are in the world, People are just people.
Yeah.
They might speak a different language, they might look different, but we all act and do the same things. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a week or two ago, we talked with a couple, the overlanding ambulance from the UK,
Oh,
and they were
cool.
talking about that. Just we were talking about in the United States, if somebody came by your house, would you let them in and invite them to dinner and just let them stay the night, or a complete stranger?
Yeah.
But in other countries, that's the norm. People do that, and
Oh yeah.
it's
Not here.
there's a lot of more
Yeah.
hospitality in other countries. It seems.
There is. There absolutely is. Yeah, and they'll tell you if there's somewhere you shouldn't go in that country. They'll be like, "Well, make sure you don't go here," because they want you to have a good experience. They want you to come back. They want you to tell your friends, for the most part. There's some places that are probably overrun. They're like, don't share that. But in general, they want you to have a good experience in their country.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Joe says it's hard sometimes, but you have to push the kids out of their comfort zone. Yes.
Yes.
It is hard. We're working on all of that currently with two
Yep.
14-year-olds and a 12-year-old almost.
Oh, man. Those are some fun ages right there.
Oh, yes. Where nothing you say is right and everybody's mad.
Yes.
And
I have a 13. I only have one. I don't know how anybody does it with more than one.
Yeah.
I don't.
wine. We drink.
We the whole angry log concept, I think, is totally true. So especially during COVID, they were kind of at those ages. We made them go outside and ride their dirt bikes every day for about 45 minutes to an hour, or we made them go chop wood, or they got to get that pent up energy out. I don't care if you're a girl or a boy, just go get it out. And it helps a lot. But
all
those
those
are tough
crazy
ages.
hormones going and
Oh
yeah.
everything. They gotta burn off all that.
Yep. And they'll come back. Yeah. And mine were always so sweet, especially Sai. He would always come back the next day and be like, oh, Mom, I'm really sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It's all right, man.
It's hard to keep your cool sometimes, though, when they're coming at you and you're like, hey, I gave birth to you. Calm down.
Watch you take you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I think it was Jen Hatmaker who said it's like they're on a roller coaster, and her job was to stay on the platform and wave.
Yeah.
Because they're going up and down and loops, and you're just like, I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah, you just try not to get on the roller coaster with them.
That's
Exactly. Yep.
It is.
You can just wait.
Yep. I'm just waiting.
Yeah.
She'll be like, what are you doing? I'm like,
Just waving.
see you in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll come back around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No Snickers is helping that, by the way, at all.
Yeah. No, you can throw anything you want at those kids, and they're just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Oh, we got here. Let's see. They need direction and some struggle and discomfort and perspective and gratitude. That is one thing that we are realizing quickly, because we both retired from the Coast Guard in 2017 and started traveling full time. And so our kids were 8 and 6 when we started traveling with them, and they've gone all over the place. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes they don't appreciate it, or they take it for granted because they have been so many places, and it's hard to, as a kid, I never traveled. My parents and I never traveled anywhere. Right just now, in another week, my parents are finally in their 70s going to drive their RV out west, and we're going to take them to Zion and Grand Canyon and all these places they've never seen either. But my kids have been to all those places, and then they're just like, oh, we're going to do that again, or we're going here. And, it's like,
Oh, that.
dude, I never got to do that stuff as a kid. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I get it. We tease our boys about that, because we'll be like, well, what truck do you want to take? Or do you want to do this? Do you want to go camping this weekend? They're like, no, I want to hang out with my friends. And I think that's just, it is what it is. And I have to constantly remind Clay, I'm like, when you were 14 years old, what was important to you in life? Your friends,
social life.
Friends, girls, not
and your friends. Yeah. Exactly. So
They
yep.
just need your money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Closet wine.
Closet
Is
wine.
that the wine?
Yep, closet wine.
So her husband makes wine out of juices and puts it in the closet.
Started it during COVID, so
Oh, that's
it's
amazing.
so good.
it is so strong. But it's so lovely.
Did he make you
Oh,
one?
that's awesome.
Yeah, it takes 18 days. He failed.
Failure, Tony. No wine.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. I know you've got some baseball games to get to.
No problem.
Out again. So we can't wait to meet you or see you at Expo West. Safe travels there. And thank you again for being on the show. We really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Thanks for having me. And I'm excited to see you as well.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
watching tonight. We appreciate it. And maybe we'll see some of you guys in the audience at Expo West as well. I'm hoping so. I think Katie's going.